Done that successfully so far in season. See if she can continue that game plan tonight.
Texas comes in 18-1 on the year. They have outscored their opponents by 150 runs on the season so far. So here is Mac Morgan against her former teammate Camille Corona, who a week ago was named the WAC Player of the Week after hitting .625 at the Razorback Invitational in Arkansas.
Well, the experience Camille Corona has from being on this Longhorn roster, going to Oklahoma City with the squad in 2022, it's just invaluable to the roster that Cara Dill has here with the Mavericks.
Hit .375 during her time with the Longhorns. Batting .429 this year and works the count 3-0 in her favor. Mac Morgan on the season with 10 strikeouts and 2 walks in just over 20 innings. And there is strike one from the junior.
Uncharacteristic start for Morgan. She usually pounds the zone right out of the gate. Might be trying to be a little bit careful knowing Camille Corona's offensive prowess.
Go to a full count. Remember, Mike White has said throughout the year, especially this year, that she's inducing more ground balls. The defense has to be strong behind her. Just a few defensive changes to get to after this 3-2 offering. Chopped over to second, Alyssa Washington with the scoop to first. So there you go, Alyssa Washington, who's usually been starting at shortstop as of late, getting the start at second tonight. And Vivi Martinez starting at shortstop. Otherwise, the defense pretty much the same for the Longhorns as it has been over the last couple of weeks.
And Coach White and his staff has been rotating players in and out. Leanne Good not in the starting lineup today after spending the weekend starting at second base.
Here is Lindsey Franklin, the team's leading run producer. He's been on a tear over the last 7 games, hitting .500. Rips one to left field. First base runner of the night for UTA. The Mavericks hitting about .275 on the season, averaging 3 runs per game coming into this one. They have a runner aboard for Caitlin Saylor, the freshman, hitting .316.
Well, the freshman has a little bit of power. 1 home run, 1 triple, 2 doubles. So Texas has to be careful not.
Martinez on to second for 1. And there are 2 away here in the top of the first inning. But that is what Mike White wants to see out of Martinez, that clean defense.
Yeah, Vivi Martinez, the stellar sophomore who had such a great freshman campaign, struggled a little early with some throws. Coach White and staff giving her a little bit of a break, probably mental break to settle down a bit. We have seen her some late inning defensive replacement in the last few games, but Coach White giving her the start today. And so far, first play her way, she's able to make cleanly and quickly.
That first pitch was fouled off the bat of Jade Moreno, the freshman out of Corpus Christi, who threw a no-hitter on Friday. Just the 7th player in program history to do that. Will not be getting the start in the circle tonight, but getting the at-bat here and in the starting lineup against Mac Morgan. And she delivers a base hit to left field. The Mavericks with 2 aboard here in the first.
Well, despite only 4 at-bats on the year, Jade Moreno aggressive. This is a drop ball up in the zone. You see that's not low at the knees. Moreno being aggressive, driving through that. The Mavericks starting to make a little noise.
Here is Morgan Westbrook in the 5 spot. She swings at the first pitch, delivers to right field, and the bases will be loaded for the Mavericks. 3 singles off Mac Morgan here in the first inning. What are you seeing out of Morgan?
Well, Morgan's just elevating the ball a little bit, not letting it drop. So she needs to be able to find her spin, let the ball sink a little bit. Also aim a little bit lower in the zone. We saw the pitch to Moreno was just below the belt. That's not where you want to throw if you're throwing a drop ball.
Again, she had only allowed an earned run in 1 appearance this year. 0 earned runs in the other 5. But in a bit of a jam here, there are 2 outs. And a talented hitter coming up in Zaya Castrita, the senior, the former transfer from Utah State, who was a former All-Mountain West Conference performer, coming up to the plate now with the bases full. And 3 of the first 5 Mavericks batters with singles off Morgan. Ball 1.
There you see Morgan trying to adjust, work a little bit more down in the zone. You have to just find that middle ground, but not try to overpower it and throw something flat through the zone.
2-0. Texas came in with the 3rd best ERA in the nation as a team, .72. Castrita fouls one off.
I would have to believe the scouting report for UTA was to see something up. You see it knee height, try not to chase it unless you have 2 strikes. And Mac Morgan just throwing that drop ball up in the zone too much. But you have to tip your hat. UTA being aggressive when they do see it up. Mac Morgan going to have to figure out now, as that's a good height, figure out where the corners are, excuse me, for home plate umpire Matt Johnson.
They're being aggressive at the right times, but patient there to force the 3-1 count with the bases loaded. Pitch number 20 of the inning on the way from Mac Morgan. Lifted to right field. Maloney is there, and the threat is over. UTA gets 3.
Complete poise in the box. And man, the power is just awe-inspiring.
We saw that the other night. Here's the freshman Caden Henry taking strike 1 from Gracie Bumpers, the senior. We mentioned 2 different pitchers had no hitters the past week for UTA. We will see neither of them, at least to start. It is Bumpers getting the start. Henry right to short and right at Hampton.
Well, Bumpers, a senior who's going to mix speeds quite a bit. Her changeup is her best pitch. She will throw it in any count, but you're going to see a little bit more east to west movement. And I wouldn't be surprised if at some point maybe we see Moreno in this game, because she is in that lineup in that DP role. So she is able to come in to this game without it having to be a full substitution.
Ia Scott has reached in 8 straight games as she takes ball 1. And a hit in 7 of those 8 games. Played terrific defense over at third this year as well. Texas comes in number 2 in the nation in batting average at .408, number 3 in runs per game at 9, and number 8 in home runs per contest. Two and one.
The consistency that Texas has been able to flash offensively against all types of competition across the board. It's not just against unranked opponents, even ranked opponents. They're able to play some small ball, show off their power. That consistency is what has now made Texas, in my opinion, to be more of an offensive program than in years past, where pitching has always been dominating the conversation.
Hitters count for Ia Scott.
You see that changeup from Bumpers. It's a big time advantage when you have an off-speed pitch that you can trust in a hitter's count. A lot of times hitters are going to split the plate, look for the hard pitch on one side or the other when it counts in their favor.
Scott to center field. That'll drop in, and she has now reached in 9 consecutive games.
Well, Bumpers tries to use back-to-back changeups to get Mia Scott, but Mia Scott, you see, stays back, lets her hands work, just gets the barrel there, drops it into center field. Good piece of two-strike hitting for the junior.
And here comes the freshman, Katie Stewart, hitting .431 on the year with 21 RBIs. Takes ball 1. On Monday night, Kat, this is one of the hardest hit balls we've seen leave the yard here in a long, long time. 289 feet to left off the grad student housing.
We had been waiting for somebody to hit it off that building, and Katie Stewart goes ahead and flex the power. Talk about the distance. 81 miles per hour exit velocity off the bat. That is above elite.
Well, we have a fan now awaiting a Katie Stewart possible souvenir now that we know how far she can hit it.
I need to know what the launch angle and the distance for that guy is.
This time she goes to right center, drops it in there to a board. She's now reached an 18 straight and a hit in 14 consecutive games.
In the cleanup spot, the designated player, number 14, Reese.
Here comes the mighty Reese Atwood, leading the nation in RBIs and tied for second in the country in home runs with 10. Takes strike 1.
When Reese Atwood is at her best, it's early in the count. She likes to see pitches that she can drive, go and be overly aggressive. Has allowed pitchers the opportunity to try to stretch the zone early in the count, but her eye has been a lot better being able to identify when a pitch is up out of the zone. Don't get me wrong, though. She'll still time it up. She likes that up pitch, and that's what she sends out over the outfield wall more often than not.
You know, Mike White wondered when pitchers were going to start pitching around her, but it's hard to believe she hasn't been walked in 8 games.
Well, Reese Atwood doesn't take walks very often, so if she's going to walk, you're going to really have to try to avoid her, because if it's around the zone and she thinks she can drive it, she will take a good swing at it.
Pitcher still going after her. That one fouled off.
But the other piece of that is there's not someone behind her that you can rest on. If you walk her, you have a lineup that can still produce runs, have a high average. It's not like Reese Atwood is the only piece of the puzzle for Texas right now. I still think if Reese Atwood ever gets that treatment, Alyssa Washington's great protecting her. Leanne Good was protecting her on Monday night. I also think you can always flip-flop, and Katie Stewart can be behind her as opposed to in front of her. And that'll keep a lot of people from putting Reese Atwood on for free.
You mentioned tonight Alyssa Washington on deck behind Atwood. Bumpers 1 ball away from loading the bases. Atwood gives one a ride to center field, and that one hauled in on the run by Nisus. A heck of a grab by the sophomore from Cedar Park, Marley Nisus.
Well, Reese Atwood puts a charge in this one. Outer half, drives it to center field. Great track by Nisus to track that one down.
Played up the road at Leander High. All-conference performer. Two-way now for Alyssa Washington. Swings at the first pitch to right field, and on the run making the grab is Westbrook. So both teams with multiple runners in the first. 11 a.m. Tuesday. LSU undefeated right now.
Yeah, LSU looking really good, and another team, they historically can pitch it. They've been able to swing it just a little bit this year, keep themselves undefeated, but it'll be a great matchup of two good offenses and two great pitching staffs. And I have to wake up a little early, get ready for that 11 a.m. start.
Should be a good one. Elena Hampton takes ball 1.
By waking up early, I mean I gotta get my morning routine in before it's game
You and I
time.
both have kids. There is no other option than waking up early.
Good thing is 11 a.m. is about the time we're taking naps, so I should be able to watch uninterrupted.
As a matter of fact, that one off the glove of Morgan and runs into the hitter Hampton. And so Hampton over at first there. Strange play as that one bounced off the glove of Morgan. You see trying to track it down.
Yeah, Morgan almost kind of scooped, unintentionally tossed that farther from her, but she cannot impede the base runner heading to first. So first base umpire did stick his fist out in case there was a play, but obviously after that contact, Morgan unable to make a play.
So that will be an error on Mac Morgan. That ends Texas's streak of just over 4 consecutive games without an error. Mike White getting an explanation. Matt Johnson, Frederick Ewald, and Joshua Forberger, the umpires for tonight.
I think Coach White trying to see if a base runner runs into a defensive player trying to make a play, like in the baseline. So if a ground ball was hit to Alyssa Washington and the base runner ran into her while she's trying to make a play, the runner is then out. But the umpires, I'm sure if they were to convene, were going to deem that Mac Morgan did not have a play on that ball with how far away it got from her and where the base runner was in the line.
So Hampton over at first, and the 1-0 count to Nikki Donahue. Sophomore out of Honolulu, and the corners were creeping in there. Scott at third and Jolie Mitchell over at first, expecting the bunt.
Typical sack situation here, and if you're UT Arlington, you really do want to go ahead and move Hampton over to second, because at some point.
And that one goes off of Hampton. What a bizarre last couple of plays.
That ball hit the base runner.
Yeah.
And playing center field, number
So from this angle here, you can see that hits the back hip of Hampton and deflects away from Alyssa Washington.
Yeah, and Mike White having a lengthy conversation with the umpires.
When you can tell, Alyssa Washington's making the read. This ball's going in the hole. All of a sudden, after it gets past the base runner, it's going the opposite direction. So it changed directions, which means it had to have hit something.
The umpires conferring right now. No official challenge as of yet. They're discussing the situation. But it looked pretty clearly to hit the runner Alana Hampton going over to second from first. But right now she's still over there. And now they decide Hampton is indeed out after that one hit her. You can see clearly that ball changing directions. So one away now for Marley Nisus. Made that nice grab running in center field. Swinging away. Nice play by Alyssa Washington. And Texas pulls off the double play to end the second. After the early error in this inning, we have Mitchell Martinez and Maloney.
How many feet do you think you have to hit it to hit up where they are?
Quite a few. Jolie Mitchell's hit a couple this year. We're Texas on the season, 30 home runs, top 10 in the nation. Mitchell's been one of the best hitters on the team so far. .425 average. Tied for second on the Longhorns in doubles. And leading the team in stolen bases. Mitchell Hit number 3 for the Longhorns on the night.
Well, Texas picking up Mitchell from the transfer portal, as you mentioned, from Notre Dame, because of the offensive capability she has, and not just with the power. They saw that she's able to run, she hits for average, and she really has been a bright spot as a transfer coming in, because whether it's been starting or off the bench, she's been able to get the job done for the Longhorns.
She's over at first again with speed. The team high 7 stolen bases, 7 for 7. Strike one to Vivi Martinez getting the start. She's hitting .319 on the season. Martinez sends one to deep left field. That one off the track in the wall. Mitchell racing over to third, sliding in, and Texas with 2 on here in the second.
Well, right as I was about to say, Vivi Martinez only has 3 extra base hits on the year. She goes ahead and lays into this outside pitch, goes with it nicely down the left field line over the head of Saylor out there. That bounce off the wall allows Julie Mitchell to easily trot into third. But Texas not flexing the home run power, but extra base hits to the wall.
And that will bring about a pitching change here in the second with no outs. We'll be back in Austin. The freshman from Pearland, Abby Gutierrez, takes over in the circle. Technically just 3 outs into the game for UT Arlington's pitching staff. Texas threatening with 2 on, no outs, and Ashton Maloney at the plate.
Well, Bumpers was attacking the strike zone, just too much white of the plate. Texas able to get their barrels to it, string some hits together. First real scoring threat, though, for the Longhorns.
Maloney over to short. Play is made at first, but Mitchell comes home to score, and Texas grabs the 1-0 lead.
Well, this is a great at-bat by Ashton Maloney. Soft hit that allows Jolie Mitchell to score. As the shortstop Hampton comes in, Vivi Martinez waiting to make sure she's going to make the throw, goes ahead and moves herself into scoring position. Ashton Maloney, first RBI on the day, but also allows Texas to advance 60 feet.
Here comes Bella Dayton. No matter where they put her in the lineup, she continues to deliver, batting .400. In the 9 spot on Monday, delivered just the 2nd triple of her career. She's got Martinez at third.
Bella Dayton will do a little bit of everything. Early in her career here at Texas, we saw her occasionally bunt, but she swung away. We saw a little bit more power. Started to add a little bit more short game, got injured last year, added the slap into her game. So now Texas really gets to see her as a triple threat. And just allows that versatility, allows her to be able to play with defenses, which she will do. You'll see her show all 3 in an at-bat sometimes. She was 3 for 3 against Hofstra on Sunday with 3 bunts all down the first baseline. Great placement.
Driven in 5 on the season. But she's progressed just about every year as a hitter. Her last year at Arizona hit .221. First year with the Horns, .276. Last year, .344, and now .400. Progressed every single season. Takes the 2-2 to right center. Oh, what a grab by Nisus. Regardless, it will still bring in a run. 2-0 Texas.
Well, another great RBI at bat by Texas, but tip your hat. Nisus is covering some ground out there in the outfield. This gets past her. Bella Dayton is most likely on third base. The center fielder for the Mavericks making some run-saving catches out there.
Yeah, the Leander product again, an all-conference center fielder. Back up to the top of the order, Caden Henry lays down the bunt. Charging in the throw over to first from Franklin, not in time. Texas using the small ball, and the speedy freshman is aboard with 2 away. There comes Mia Scott, singled in the first inning. Texas with 5 hits so far, first time through the order.
Well, the bottom of the lineup paired with Caden Henry and Mia Scott, it's just a lot of speed and pressure to put on the defense. We talked about Bella Dayton advancing and progressing each year. Caden Henry can do the same thing with her speed and her short game.
That speed pays off. Stolen base number 6 on the year for Henry. Mia Scott with 14 RBIs in 19 games. Gutierrez, the freshman pitcher, won a 6A state championship last year with Pearland. Came into a tough spot in this one with 2 in scoring position and no outs for one of the best offenses in the country.
Well, Coach Cara Dill saying they've put her in quite a few of those situations, and Abby will say to the staff, I like the chaos. So she likes when she has to go in a situation where nerves might be a little bit high, pressure's on. She did record 2 outs, but both outs that Texas was able to score on.
Both runs were charged to the previous pitcher, Gracie Bumpers. Mia Scott to left center field. Nisus watches that one go off the wall. Another run comes home. Look at Scott flying around the bases for an RBI triple.
This pitch up in the zone, and Mia Scott stays up with it well. Nicest giving run, but if you are not familiar with Texas's outfield wall, this is where it can burn you. Mia Scott should have a double, but with how hard that ricocheted and Nicest continuing to run to the wall, Mia Scott sees that, doesn't miss a beat. Makes it all the way to third.
It's her 4th triple of the year, most by a Longhorn in 5 years. And we haven't even hit conference play. Ball 1 to Katie Stewart, who singled in the first inning.
Alex, I think Mia Scott is one of the most fun athletes to watch. Anytime you see the ball in the outfield, she's always looking as she rounds second to see if she can turn it on and go to third, depending on where the outfielder is or the ball placement.
That one placed right in the glove of Westbrook, but Texas breaks through for 3 runs here in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
You'll see a little bit of an off speed. She'll use more up in the zone with a rise ball, but has a changeup, or excuse me, a drop ball she'll show as well. Key to Estelle Check is being able to know when she can rear back and throw it hard, but when she needs to let her spin work. So far, the senior's been electric in the circle.
1-1 to the birthday girl, Lindsey Franklin, who turns 23 today, celebrated with a hit in the first inning, but not the only person in this stadium celebrating a birthday here tonight. Just a few years younger, there is a fan by the name of JC in the stands who is turning 1 tonight. There we go, JC Ray Ashley, happy birthday. What did you get her for her birthday?
Well, her party's in a couple weeks, so we didn't give her, she got a donut from me today.
But wait, yeah, the birthday's today. I understand. Yeah. There's got to be.
Dad came home with a balloon. She got a donut from Mom.
And a strikeout there from Check.
Well, Check utilizing the off speed against Lindsey Franklin there, knowing that Franklin has some power and is an aggressive hitter. That off speed pitch, not something we see a lot of from Estelle Check. If Check can get that pitch going as season continues to progress, especially with conference play coming up, where you see offenses 2, 3, 4 times a series. That off-speed pitch could be something she can keep in her back pocket, so the second or third time she has an appearance, she's able to pull it out.
Are you working on the mechanics already with JC?
We're trying. So far, though, we don't like to do more than just kind of chuck a ball into the ground, which... But then at the same time, she squats a lot, so I'm like, oh, are you trying to already tell me that you want to be behind the plate instead of in charge?
No, not a... Gonna have to bring over Megan Willis to get her trained with the catching gear.
I did send Willis a picture and said, I think we might be taking after Auntie Meg.
2-1 on the way to Caitlin Saylor. Saylor with the dart to center, sliding in to make the grab is Caden Henry, the freshman. Dylan, coach, your team was threatening in the first inning, had the bases loaded. What do you need to see out of your offense to break through here?
Yeah, we were just one timely hit away from scoring some runs. But I love the way that we're putting barrel to ball. They're aggressive in the box. We got into their bullpen a little bit, which is great the second time through the order. So all good things from the offense. We got to get a timely hit here and there, and we'll be in good shape.
Coach, on the flip side, you made a transition into Gutierrez, who you said loves chaos. What did you like from you? What did you see from her that you like?
Yeah, we could have handled that chaos a little bit better, for sure. Just putting her in those moments is huge. It's going to be huge for her and our team for this year and for her career. But it was just a matchup situation, really. There was 5 lefties stacked in a row, so it was a good situation for her to go into. But really couldn't get the outs that we were looking for in that, but we'll be better for it.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you. Kara Dillon, her second season in charge, former Texas A&M assistant pitching coach. Did a heck of a job with the pitchers there in College Station for 6 years. And last year in her first season with UTA went 22-30. Here is Reese Atwood leading off the bottom of the third. And takes strike 1 from Gutierrez.
Well, that lefty-lefty matchup for a left-handed pitcher usually is in your favor. You have to be able to execute your curveball tailing away from them. If you go in, keep it tight, because it is a different look than what most lefties are used to seeing.
Atwood skies one to Franklin.
But the same can be said for right-handed hitters. She's going to throw harder, so if it comes up in at your hands like it did there to Reese Atwood, really have to be able to get your barrel out and make adjustments to the timing.
Texas with 3 runs off 6 hits so far. Here is Alyssa Washington off to the best start of her career at the plate. But first, we will have another pitching change. Third pitcher of the night, and here we are in inning number 3 for UT Arlington. We saw Gracie Bumper start. Abby Gutierrez replace her, and now looks like it'll be Jade Moreno, the freshman out of Corpus Christi, who we mentioned earlier, became the 7th player in program history to throw a no-hitter last Friday. Blanked 395. She had her first career 2-homer game on Friday, and then on Monday against Penn State hit 2 doubles in a game for just the 3rd time in her career. Just continues to get it done.
I have to imagine the captain's playing with a little bit more, or I should say with a little bit less pressure on her, more free this year, knowing senior year, able to leave it all out on the field. And plus, you know, you have the respect of your staff and your teammates, being able to put that C on your chest, and just the experience. She's been able to grow each year as she continues to get the opportunity, especially in big time situations.
Janae Jefferson said even when Alyssa Washington was a freshman, she would pull Janae aside and said, hey, you mind taking some extra reps with me after practice? And Janae Jefferson, kind of light bulb went off and said, oh, okay, this freshman may be something special, just something a little bit different about her. Not only staying late to practice, but having the courage to go up to Janae Jefferson, the 4-time All-American, and said, hey, will you work with me?
Well, it just shows that she wanted to learn. She wanted to be a sponge right away. And when you're like that as a freshman, you earn respect of everybody because it's not about you. You're not pouting that you're not playing. You're not making it a, oh, I need to do this in order to be seen by the coaches. She was making a conscious effort to get better. And who better to ask than Janae Jefferson, the 4-time All-American, playing to the left of you when you're at shortstop. And I think Alyssa Washington soaked in everything that Janae Jefferson had to offer. And I know Janae's graduation obviously might have left a little hole in Alyssa Washington's heart, but I know she's also making Janae proud as she has continued on and is now captain.
Absolutely, having a great year. By the way, another change for the Mavericks. Cameron Cooper taking over in left field, the freshman. All right, so here we go. One away for Alyssa Washington after Reese Atwood popped up to begin the bottom of the third. First pitch from Moreno.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple more pitching changes with the way UTA has this lineup. If I'm correct, I would assume Gutierrez went in for bumpers in the 10 spot. And with Moreno being the DP, she can come in to pitch. But then Gutierrez can go back in at some point if they need a lefty-lefty matchup. And oh, Gracie Bumpers can return to the lineup once as well.
UTA's put together a pretty tough schedule for them so far this year. Obviously the #1 team in the nation on the slate tonight for the Mavericks. But earlier this year, they've already faced Tennessee and Arkansas twice. Kara Dill said the goal was to make an extremely tough schedule so they would have potentially a shot to make it to their first NCAA regional in 21 years.
Well, that schedule also prepares them for conference play. When you face elite arms and elite teams, it just gets your juices flowing, allows you to see some really good pitching, make in-game adjustments, so when you get to conference, you're not surprised.
First walk of the night issued by UTA pitching. Here is Jolie Mitchell, who's bumped that average now up to 439. Singled in the second inning. Nice job by Donahue of keeping that one in front of her. We've talked about previous games how good Mitchell was with Notre Dame. An all-conference player, all-ACC first team, or even going back to high school. Just an absolutely terrific hitter in Arkansas. 58 career home runs. Hit better than 600. He's named USA Today National Softball Player of the Year in high school. Just a legit offensive performer.
Well, there you just see her consistency. She ended the 2023 season on a 35 on-base streak.
The umpire pulled out his lineup card. But alas, no changes. To Mitchell.
I'm going to assume that a coach in the dugout might have just got a warning, because usually that's what's written down when there's not a lineup change being made and an umpire pulls their lineup out.
Action clock is at 3. And Moreno has walked the first 2 batters she's faced.
Well, after her no-hitter, Moreno is showing a little bit of nerves here against the Texas lineup. She uses a drop and a rise combination, but right now unable to find her groove to attack the strike zone. But being put in this situation mid-game against the #1 team in the country, a top 3 offensive team in the country, it's a little different than your normal relief appearance.
First pitch misses. That's now 9 consecutive balls. Golden opportunity, meanwhile, for Vivi Martinez, who doubled in the second inning, has 2 on with 1 away here in the third.
Well, and right now, out of these 10 pitches, only one has even looked remotely close. There was a curveball to Jolie Mitchell. That was borderline, but you have to be able to attack the zone if you think the umpire is going to give you anything that's borderline.
Martinez skies one to center field. Nisus reaches up and crashes into the wall, but that'll drop in. 1 run will score, and Vivi Martinez having a big night so far with her 2nd hit of the contest.
Well, you know you're confident in your offense when you have 3-0 and you give them the green light. Vivi Martinez gets enough of this one. Didn't get all of it, but enough to get it off the wall in center field. Again, Nisus trying to record the out, but extra bases for Washington because of the ricochet off the wall.
Martinez over at first, so she had the double in the 2nd inning, the RBI single here, and we'll have a pinch hitter coming up for Ashton Maloney. Vic Hunter, the talented freshman who's hitting .476 and delivered the pinch hit RBI single against Penn State a couple of nights ago.
Well, Vic Hunter, an athlete that Coach White has been really quick to talk about and say, you know, they would love to try to get her in the starting lineup. There's just not a place defensively right now, but he has had the conversation and let her know you're one of the first bats off the bench. We need you for RBI situations. So far, she's been able to rise to the test, 5 for 10 in pinch hit situations.
Number 12 recruit in the nation. You know, sometimes you hear coaches say things and you wait to see if they'll actually follow through on that. Mike White told us at the beginning of the year, we are going to find a lot of pinch hit opportunities for her, and we've told her that. And that has been true so far. 21 at bats for the freshman. Started a couple of games, falls behind here 1-2.
Well, and as a freshman, your aspirations are always to be in the starting lineup, but when you're that trusted bat in a crucial situation, you start to adapt and you just start taking at-bats with right-handed hitters throughout the game, so you learn what the pitchers are doing to them. And in that case, you're not going in stone cold, not having an idea of what the pitcher is offering. But at the same time, there are so many athletes on both these clubs that grew up together here in Texas playing against each other. Jade Moreno, Victoria Hunter, I'm sure have faced off a time or two, so Hunter may be telling Coach, I'm familiar with her too.
Check swing over to third, and the play is made for out number 2 as the runners advance. Two-way now for Bella Dayton. Bella Dayton's got some family on hand here, making the trek over from Wiley as another one of these midweek games where Texas is honoring one of their seniors. Her family looks on, 2 in scoring position, 2 away.
You know, her family was glad when she decided to go ahead and transfer closer to home, be able to see her on a more routine basis.
Just a few hours closer than playing in Arizona.
Well, we were talking about birthdays, and obviously today is Bella Dayton's senior day, but I had jokingly messaged her and said, hey, hope you don't mind sharing your senior day with JC's first birthday. And she said, it's okay, I have to share it. Today's her twin brothers. She has a set of twin brothers. It's their 25th birthday.
Just add them to the list tonight at McCombs. Dayton fouls one off. Remember, originally coming out of high school out of Wiley, she was top 15 recruit in the country and played a couple of seasons with Arizona, as it has had so many clutch hits and clutch moments in the postseason throughout her career. Awaits the 1-2. And delivers to right center field. That one will roll all the way back to the wall. And Bella Dayton with the 3rd triple of her career. Her family loves it.
Well, the outfield's playing in with runners in scoring position to be able to make that throw home, and Bella Dayton finds the perfect seam between the two outfielders. No one had a chance to cut that off before it got to the wall, and the speed of Bella Dayton easily into third base.
She had one triple in her entire career heading into the Penn State game on Monday night. She has 2 in the last 2 games. Here's Caden Henry with Dayton on third. Chops one over to Moreno. And the inning comes to an end, but Texas tacks on 3 more. And out by assistant coach Patty Ruth Taylor. Coach, great to have you on. What do you make of your team's performance so far tonight?
Hey, it's been good. We've been fishing runs here, and pitching's right here with Mac was good, and then Estelle right now has been good.
Coach, talk about joining this Texas staff and working with as many elite arms as you have in there. How's that adjustment been for you?
It's been amazing, honestly. I couldn't be happier with the 5 that we have. And, you know, we talk about all the time how they support each other, and it's just a really great culture to come into. And I love working with these girls, and this team's been great, and the coaching staff as well.
Appreciate it, Coach. Great job.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Citlali Gutierrez is a big fan in the background, obviously. Stelchek back out there for another inning of work. Defensive changes for Texas. Vic Hunter taking over in left field, and Bella Dayton moving to right.
Yeah, you talked to this pitching staff about Patty Ruth Taylor, and they are all compliments about what she's been able to do, pushing them to believe in themselves, challenging them in bullpens to make them mentally tougher. But you can tell she's excited to be here, excited to work with them, and she's really been able to make an impact quickly as she gets to work with them day to day.
Our pitcher out there now is Stelchek, inducing the ground out from Moreno. The Stelchek still yet to allow an earned run on the season, and now 13 2/3. 0 earned runs allowed this year and 1 walk for Stelchek.
As a pitcher, when you know your role is going to be middle relief, or in a certain game if you're told you're going to be late relief, it really allows you mentally to almost check out for a couple innings, relax, and then as soon as you start to warm up, you can mentally check in, and you know it's a shorter period of time. I think sometimes for some athletes, and not that this is the case for Stelchek because we have seen long outings from her, but being able to mentally focus for 7 innings can exhaust people and allow their performance to falter towards the end of it.
Gives up the hit there to Morgan Westbrook, who's 2 for 2. Just the 8th hit allowed on the year for Stelchek.
Second baseman number 34, Isaiah Castrovino.
That was their first hit since the first inning. Runner on for Zaya Castrita, former transfer from Utah State. Last year was the only Maverick to start every single game for UTA. 52 starts at second base. Watches the count go 2-0. Coming up for Texas after this one, they begin conference play on the road at Houston. Should be interesting. One of the new teams in the Big 12. Then they got that early midweek matchup against LSU we talked about. And then a home conference opener against BYU.
Well, then it doesn't get easier after that. They have a midweek against Florida State before playing UCF, another new Big 12 member. So the road for Texas here is going to remain competitive, which is why Coach White uses so many athletes in these games that we saw in the Longhorn Invitational and even here tonight to make sure everyone is getting the reps they need in order to be ready for conference play and those highly ranked matchups. You're going to have to go to the bench. You don't want an athlete who hasn't pinch hit in 4 or 5 games simply because there wasn't a crucial opportunity. You're still letting everyone see live pitches, pitchers getting reps in as well.
Castrita retired here. You talk about the ranked teams Texas has faced. By the end of the regular season, Texas will have played teams that are currently ranked number 2, number 3, number 7, 8, 9, 14, 16, and 18 in the nation. What a schedule.
Well, last year I think they felt a little slighted in the fact they didn't get to host a super regional, so they weren't in that top 8 and had to go on the road to Tennessee. So trying to create a schedule that makes that RPI higher. Right now they are in the top 4 RPI, we're coming in 4th. And the key there is you have to have X number of wins in quad 1, and quad 1 is the top 25 of RPI, not the rating poll. And right now they have 7 wins already against quad 1 teams, the most in the country.
Scooped up by Scott. And on to first. A single, and that is all for the Mavericks. On to the bottom of the 4th inning we go. Longhorns is having a big night so far. Triple, 3 RBIs. Her team up by 6 as Mia Scott leads off the bottom of the 4th inning.
Might have saw a couple of tears in Bella Dayton's eyes there. Normally, game day it is a stone cold look, but
just allergies.
A little emotional there on that video.
Strike 1. Texas looking for win number 580 at McCombs Field in program history.
It's the first off-speed pitch we've seen Moreno try to sneak in here against Mia Scott. Not a bad pitch, just a little bit low. Moreno just gonna have to control the strike zone a little bit more to be successful against this Texas offense. You allow them to get comfortable when you throw too many balls, and right now, Texas not having to stress, not being in pressure situations, having to fend off with 2 strikes.
3-1 the count to Scott. Mia Scott's walk to strikeout ratio, 10 walks now on the year, still just 1 strikeout.
There are a lot of things about Mia Scott that are impressive. We talked about her speed, but at the same time, her hand-eye coordination, to the fact she can get the barrel of the bat to so many different pitches, but she's also patient, and I think that patience has been the biggest progression in her career. Not that she striked out a ton, but she's taking her walks a little more often, forcing pitchers to throw really good pitches to her that she knows she can handle.
So she's aboard for Katie Stewart. So Katie Stewart hits 80 miles an hour and throws 80 miles an hour. The exit velocity on her home run on Monday was 81, as we said. And when she was a high school shortstop, they timed her throwing overhand at 80 miles an hour. Not a bad combo.
I'm going to petition for her jersey number to change to 80.
There you go. Can you? Can she wear that?
I think so. Nadia Taylor was 88 here, so
go.
yeah.
Waits the 1-1.
Well, here you see Katie Stewart's power spray chart. So center field and left field is majority of where her balls go, but that 13% over there in right field means pitchers have to respect the fact that she can drive the outside pitch. All of her home runs have been center to left, all 4 of them. But still, she covers majority of the field, which makes it really hard to pitch to her. You cannot exploit just one hole with Katie Stewart.
3-1 on the way. 2 aboard. Here comes Reese Atwood. 0 for 2 so far. Now hitting .492. But first, a meeting in the circle.
Well, Coach Kara Dill is also the pitching coach for UT Arlington, and right now the conversation has to be what pitch is going to be in the strike zone. What pitch do you want me to rely on most? I think sometimes with young pitchers, we go in with a game plan against a hitter's weakness, and you have to remember to use your pitcher's strength. But right now, Jade Moreno just unable to locate anything consistently. So Cara Dill having a conversation with her. Throw strikes. Let's see what happens. Don't put them on for free.
Get ready to face Reese Atwood. Reese Atwood has been held without an extra base hit for the last 3.5 games now. Is she due? Still 1 home run shy of last year's total of 11. Only 8 shy of matching the Texas single season record.
Well, I'm sure Cara Dill was explaining to Jade Moreno, we didn't want to put Mia Scott on ahead of Katie Stewart, but now you don't want to put 2 on ahead of Reese Atwood. Especially with no one retired, gives Texas a lot of leeway right now to pick up more runs in this ball game.
Scott on second, Stewart on first. Atwood delivers on the first pitch. That's going to score a run. Reese Atwood with an RBI single. Stewart caught in a rundown. Dives back to second, and she's safe.
There will be a lot of fans that wonder why Reese Atwood is being aggressive in the zone after 2 straight walks, but that pitch over the plate, something Atwood could handle, and in that situation, you want to create action, force UT Arlington have to make some plays. Great piece of hitting by Reese Atwood. Great job base running by Katie Stewart, get herself back to second base.
We will have a pinch runner taken over at first for Texas, Adea Wallace. In front of her is Katie Stewart over at second, representing the potential 8th run with the captain coming up, Alyssa Washington. Washington walked in the 3rd. Again, 60% of Texas's runs this year have come in the 3rd and 4th innings. First pitch strike from Moreno.
Well, since the talk from Cara Dill, Moreno has responded now with 2 strikes in a row.
Washington, shallow center. The runners will stay put.
First baseman, Jolie Mitchell.
One away now for Jolie Mitchell, who has reached twice, a single in the 2nd inning and walked in the 3rd.
You know, last year, Alex, we talked so much about the freshmen, and that was Leanne Good, Vivi Martinez, Citlali Gutierrez. Ashton Maloney almost forgot about down there in the bottom of the lineup. This year, I feel like you're talking about the offense so much. Mia Scott always in the conversation, but Katie Stewart, Reese Atwood, almost forgetting about Jolie Mitchell down there in the 6th spot and what she can produce. Just shows how deep Texas's offense is this season.
With an on-base percentage of over 500, 10 walks compared to just 3 strikeouts. And hitting .439. 2 on, 1 away from Mitchell. Jolie Mitchell chops one over the glove of the 3rd baseman. That's a fair ball. Here comes Katie Stewart. And that's an RBI double for Jolie Mitchell. 8-0 Longhorns.
Well, this is a high hopper. Nothing Camille Corona can do about it. She's already playing at the bag. But you see Katie Stewart racing home. Coach White not hesitating, not waiting to hear fair or foul call.
Jolie Mitchell reaches for the 3rd time tonight. Adea Wallace over at 3rd. Here's Vivi Martinez, 2 for 2. and Wallace doubled up over at third. What a play by Moreno.
I don't know that Moreno fully saw that, but this line shot 2 or 3, even 4 in an at-bat from Sophia Simpson. But Texas using her to close this out.
She's got 18 strikeouts in 11 innings this year. Leadoff hitter Nikki Donahue in the 8th spot. Texas looking for their 10th run rule victory of the season. Sophia Simpson has allowed 2 runs on the year, but both of them unearned.
With her changeup being as good as it is, a lot of times you can get swing and misses, but you also get a lot of weak hits. And so as a defense, you have to be on your toes, ready to be able to defend. And sometimes that changeup creates some spinners, so you really have to be able to stay down on ground balls.
Got her. Well, on the scoreboard, they had the wrong count. The umpire has corrected that, so it's now 2-2. And it remains that. Oh, nice grab of the pen by Caban. Big 12 pitcher of the week.
Maybe there should be a Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week.
Say, she does it all.
Just getting her work in, ready for the weekend.
There's strike 3. Again.
Home plate just wanted to let Sophia Simpson get a little bit more work in before it retired. But you see that off-speed pitch, and Donahue just not ready for it. The second or the third strike. If you're UTA, you have to know that pitch is coming, and you have to find a way to mitigate it, whether it's wasting it, bunting it, being able to put it in play. But you can't wait around for a hard pitch in the zone.
Another strike looking. We'll say this, Marley Nisus has done a tremendous job in center field tonight, tracking down a number of fly balls. Lays down the bunt, Simpson charging, and throws it too high off the glove of Mitchell.
Well, Nisus, knowing she has speed and seeing Texas's corners playing back, uses short game. The problem here is Sophia Simpson needs to field that and keep her feet under her. She was running towards the line, which forces her to throw over the base runner. She sets her feet, fields, and releases that. She has a cleaner throw, easier path for Mitchell, to be able to see that throw.
Camille Corona, her former teammate, fouls one off. That's the second error of the night by a Texas pitcher. Saw Mac Morgan commit one in the second. And Texas had gone 4 straight games without an error. Camille Corona hitting .414 in a UTA uniform this year.
Well, Corona's so good at the short game as well, and she's familiar with Sophia Simpson. She knows she's going to get a hefty dose of changeups. Bunt, a great option against that pitch.
Swing and a miss.
Nice changeup there, and the speed differential is great, but the great part of that pitch was the location, low and into Corona. Most of the time, pitchers use that pitch away. Can be so deceptive when you can tuck it in low and inside.
Sophia Simpson, 19 strikeouts and 6 walks on the year. Again, part of this top 3 pitching staff in the nation. As Corona takes one to left field. That'll drop into left center between Henry and Hunter. The base runners flying around, and UTA will avoid the run rule. Camille Corona.
Well, Simpson and the Texas staff have to know that Camille Corona is going to be ready for anything that she offers. This pitch up in the zone and on the outer half. Corona does a great job driving that. Looked like Henry might have called it and thought she was going to dive, but realized her angle was off. There's no way that ball should get to the wall. That should be cut off. But UT Arlington taking advantage.
The Mavericks have new life thanks to the triple by Camille Corona. So here's Lindsey Franklin, who singled in the first inning, leads the team in RBIs and home runs.
Well, the combination of Camille Corona and Lindsey Franklin have been the catalyst for this UTA offense. And right now, Camille Corona doing a great job being able to drive in that first run. Franklin going to try to build off it.
That one ripped foul. The freshman Kavan is warming up in the Texas bullpen. Saw her with that stellar web gem a few moments ago. Swing and a miss.
Well, after the hard foul ball from Franklin, she had to know an off-speed pitch was coming. But again, Sophia Simpson locating this low in the zone, and it drops out even a little bit more. Great spot for that off-speed pitch against the power hitter.
Here's Caitlin Saylor. Corona still over at third, 2 away. JC wanted to see more softball.
It's not quite our bedtime yet, so yeah.
Don't want it to end too early. Strike one. And hey, that's a big moment for this UTA offense. They had 3 ranked games before this, 2 against Arkansas, 1 against Tennessee, and they had been shut out in all 3. Now you score a run off the #1 team in the nation and keep this game going at least for another inning.
Well, Sophia Simpson flirting with danger. If that ball gets away from Katie Stewart at all, Camille Corona is going to be ready to dart home.
Full count on the way. That one roped foul. .23 pitches in the inning now for Simpson.
Well, Saylor is going to have to figure out if she thinks she's going to get a hard pitch or a changeup here. Simpson unable to locate the changeup in the zone during this at bat. But still, that is her best pitch.
Swing and a miss. But UTA gets on the board. They avoid the run rule for now. We move on here in Austin.
Every game we can bring her to, she's ready to take care of her. But that child knows no stranger, which is a blessing and probably a curse at some point in life.
First pitch strike on the way from Moreno to Ashton Maloney, who was pinch hit for in the second inning, but now re-enters the game.
Well, Texas is going to go to Ashton Maloney. She's a fire starter. She uses her speed to get on base. It doesn't have to be a solid base hit through the infield. She can use some small ball, although you see Camille Corona playing her up a little bit, respecting the bat control that Maloney has.
We'll say, I mean, you brought it up ever since the head coach Cara Dill went out there to have a talk with her and kind of got her to loosen up, relax, smile, laugh a little bit. She has been delivering strikes.
I think she got her to loosen up and then delivered a very heartfelt attack the zone. Make them swing the bat. Don't try to be too fine, be afraid to get hit. We're going to learn one way or another, and as a pitcher, that's the best advice is you have to force them to swing the bat to figure out if your pitches are going to work or not. You can't try to dance around the zone and then in a 3-0, 3-1 count, when they can swing freely, try to challenge them.
Count 0-2 on the way to Maloney. Drove it a run in the second inning, part of that 3-run second inning. Texas pretty close to their average of 9 runs per game. Chopped over to third. Camille Corona showing off tonight.
Well, when she played defense here at Texas, she platooned between third base and the outfield, but Camille Corona able to scoop this one up. A nice throw on the run, knowing Ashton Maloney has speed. And great job by the fifth-year senior.
One away from Bella Dayton. Dayton and Scott have triples tonight. One more would tie the Texas single game record for triples by the Longhorns of 3 as Dayton takes a first pitch strike.
Well, Moreno really hammering that outside corner to these lefties of Texas. So until they make an adjustment and are able to drive that or start being overly aggressive at it, she's going to get comfortable out there and then try to stretch up.
Off the glove of Castrita, recovers in time, 2 away. And it looks like we will have a pinch hitter coming up for the Longhorns, Katie Simmons, the junior from Humble. Caden Henry went 1 for 3 on the night. So here comes Simmons, who's hitting .400 on the season. Started 5 games this year.
Simmons got back in the starting lineup during the Longhorn Invitational, working between first base and even a couple appearances behind the plate, but really got her bat going. So Texas going to see if her hot hand can work here with 2 outs against Jade Moreno.
Moreno has settled down, retiring 3 in a row. When is JC's bedtime, by the way?
We have probably about 30 more minutes.
Okay. They just keep handing her off to different people.
Thankfully, it's all people we know.
That's
Joey's
a good sign.
My husband's up there.
I was gonna ask.
We do. We do. When I'm not up here in the booth, I'm active with RBI Austin and their softball organization.
Yes.
So Coach Singleton's wife, Chelsea, and then the 2 young ladies next to her, Haley McKay and Bree Ortiz, are also coaches with me in that RBI organization. So all out here tonight.
There you go.
To
Next
love
in
on.
line. Just keep passing her down.
Instead of a conga line, it's a baby passing line.
2-1 the count to Simmons with 2 away.
You
Here
can
in the
tell
fifth inning.
none of us can clearly get enough softball.
Right.
Katie Simmons seeing the ball well out of the hand of Jade Moreno. Saw there fighting off a pitch up in the zone, just has to get a pitch down in the zone that she can handle here.
that walk. So the potential winning run is over at first. Mia Scott coming up to the plate. Looks like we'll have a pinch runner. Caden Henry re-enters the game for Simmons.
Well, patient at bat by Simmons. Able to get Texas with a 2-out base runner, but the speed of Henry drastically different than Katie Simmons. So Coach White going to go ahead, re-enter, because Mia Scott can find a gap. The speed of Henry can score from first.
This is the hitter you want up. Mia Scott has reached 3 times tonight, a walk, a single, and an RBI triple. Takes strike 1.
See hear a collective groan from the crowd. My face had a shock. That was a little up in the zone. We haven't seen that be a strike tonight.
JC was stunned. Runner is going, the throw on to second. And the winning run now in scoring position.
Caden Henry, second stolen base of the night. She is now tied with Jolie Mitchell for the lead in stolen bases.
Two and 1 to Scott. Mia Scott to left field. Cooper is there. And we play on into the night here in Austin. 6th inning on. There's Jade Moreno, singled in the first inning. Bella Dayton has re-entered the game in left field.
Sophia Simpson attempting to deliver the first pitch. Must have got stuck in her glove. Equivalent of a balk, so 1 ball on the hitter. Jay Moreno in just her 5th bat of the season, got a single in the first inning here, facing Sophia Simpson though. Got that swing and miss on the changeup, but able to lay off at that time.
Two and 2. Texas number 4 in the RPI. Now this is interesting. I believe LSU is number 1 in the RPI. However, when you take a look at the schedule, as Simpson records a strikeout, LSU has faced 1 team currently ranked, Oklahoma State. That was a 1-run LSU win.
So LSU has 1, been successful, but 2 scheduled just tough enough. Texas, on the other hand, as we mentioned, how many ranked opponents they face. They also have that loss to Stanford. But it all shakes out once conference play, or I should say shakes up once conference play comes into play. LSU obviously going to face a plethora of ranked opponents. 12 of the 13 SEC teams are ranked in the top 25.
Is there an added pressure knowing you are now number 1 with the bullseye on your back? Or if you're Mike White and his squad, is it just a number?
There's an excitement that comes with it. It's what you work towards. And obviously in this situation with Oklahoma having such a long stretch in that spot, being able to earn that spot is something to celebrate and to be proud of. But at the same time, you have to play the game the same way. And the way Texas has been playing up to this point, I don't think much changes for them. They don't feel more pressure just knowing that they've been playing elite level ball all season long.
Well, conversation with both coaching staffs has ensued. Nicole Hill is the batter. 1-0 count. She came in the last inning as a defensive replacement. Seen a little bit of everything tonight, Kat.
I was trying to think if there was maybe a re-entry that wasn't reported, but Henry went into run, so that was reported, and Maloney re-entered to lead off the inning, so that was reported. Lots of conversations we don't get to be privy to.
Charging it is Martinez. No.
Well, that's such a hard hop for Martinez to play. That's a hopper over Sophia Simpson. Hard play for her too, as she'd have to drop step, set her feet and throw, but that has to be a short hop for Martinez, who is playing back.
Zaya Castrita coming up to hit, the former All-Mountain West Conference performer with Utah State. But instead, we'll have a pinch hitter, Emma Lopez.
Well, UT Arlington putting anyone in that can combat the changeup. So you see a lot of left side hitters, slappers that are going to be able to just touch and go. Right there, Lopez trying to drop the bunt. So Coach Cara Dill loading up the left side right now, trying to pull out all the stops.
Oh, 2. Coming up for Texas in the bottom half will be Stuart Atwood and Washington. Two away.
Well, you see Simpson, and it's this off-speed pitch again. After going hard and into Lopez, she uses that changeup away. Lopez unable to time that up.
There was Elena Hampton swinging a miss. Quick throw back to first, not in time.
I like the aggressiveness by Katie Stewart trying to get a snap throw, see if she can get Hill off the base over there.
And the count moves to 1-2. Runner advances on to second. Swing and a miss, Simpson. So Moreno settled down after that meeting in the circle with Cara Dill. Retired 4 of the last 5.
Well, it was after the back-to-back walks to Mia Scott, and here Katie Stewart at that time was called.
Over at second, Lopez. I think it was a little bit of nerves at first for Moreno, but again, coming off the no-hitter, the talent is there. And as we said, has settled down, now retired 5 of the last 6. Here's Reese Atwood, who drove in a run with a single in the 4th inning.
Sometimes as a pitcher, you go in, and especially when you go in against an elite offense, you're trying to win a game or you're trying to do too much. And really our job as a pitcher, regardless of who you're facing, is to throw quality pitches. If you don't throw quality pitches, you have no shot against the offense. And I think that was the message from Cara Dill, was you are nowhere around the zone right now, which is not going to entice them to swing. At the same time, it lulls the umpires and your defense a little bit, so we have to be able to go in, throw quality pitches, attack the strike zone, and just see what happens.
Offers up the 1-0. That was a home run swing from Reese Atwood.
Well, Reese Atwood likes to be aggressive early in the count. She likes that up pitch. She can get her barrel to it. She'll time it up. So you have to be careful how many times you offer it to her.
Sky Denisis, two-way. Here comes Alyssa Washington, walked in the third inning. Texas with 8 runs off 10 hits so far tonight. UTA 1 off 6.
Three straight hitters. Moreno's tried to start off low inside, and all 3 of them been at the shins of the hitters. Stewart, Atwood, and Washington all bailing out of the way.
Texas yet to strike out tonight. Should I not have said that?
Well, some of that is just being able to control the strike zone. If you're constantly working from behind, Texas, confident in their offense, is going to swing the bat aggressively. They were able to do that a number of times.
Go. 2-1. And calling everybody off is Camille Corona. So here we go, 7th inning on the way in Austin in a 7-run game between the Horns and the Mavericks. Your senior season, Cat, 2006.
So long ago.
It has taken a while, but they have returned to the top of the rankings. Sophia Simpson trying to close this thing out. In foul territory. What an effort by Ashton Maloney.
Well, great effort, great speed, great range. Ashton Maloney takes off at a dead sprint the second she sees this in the air. Trying to make sure she can haul it in without running past it almost, but great job by Ashton Maloney to record the first out.
Marley Nices takes strike 1.
You gotta love when your outfield will go all out, even in foul territory for you.
Maloney's a great fielder. She still only has 5 errors in 105 career games.
Well, her speed allows her to just be able to read balls, get to them a lot easier than some other outfielders. But I also feel like Ashton Maloney has one speed. She's either standing there or she is full speed. You never see her coasting. She took off on that first foul ball.
Swing and a miss. Simpson with strikeout number 7. 7 strikeouts now, just 2 2/3 for Sophia Simpson.
Well, Simpson, with this changeup, she keeps getting UT Arlington swinging ahead of the game. Great location off the plate, ahead in the count. Well, why make a change if they're not making an adjustment?
Mavericks down to their final out, and it's Camille Corona. Had herself a nice night, the former Longhorn, with an RBI triple in the 5th inning. And some nice defense over at 3rd. Mavs down to their last strike.
One back-to-back changeups there by Sophia Simpson. One inside, one tailing away from Corona. That pitch is just so good, and she throws it so well with her body.
There it is. Sophia Simpson ends the game with a strikeout as #1 Texas moves to 19-1 on the year.